Hi, I'm Kate, the Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to my tarot card meaning deep dive video into the Page of Pentacles. I'm going to tell you all about this page. I'm going to bring this page to life for you so that you feel a connection with this card, so that the next time this card comes up in a reading, you're going to know exactly how to interpret this card and how to connect with this card. But first, I have made you a special tarot court card cheat sheet. So if you want to download that cheat sheet, I'm going to put the link below. I know that the tarot court cards can be tricky, and so I've created this cheat sheet for you to use as a reference in your readings. So if you want to grab your own copy, again, I'll put the link just below this video. So let's dive in. Let's begin. The image that you see on your screen is the Page of Pentacles, and it's from the Universal Waite Tarot deck. So the Page of Pentacles, the page is, I think of the pages as being, they are the most youthful out of all the court cards. So the pages are like the students of the tarot. And the Page of Pentacles being the page of the suit of Pentacles, the suit of Pentacles corresponds with the element earth. And earth corresponds with all the earthly kind of physical things that we encounter in our day-to-day lives. So I think of the suit of Pentacles as being all about money, finances, health, the body, physical possessions, everything that we encounter in the physical realm. So a few keywords or sort of key personality traits of this Page of Pentacles is that I always think of this page as being like a student. He's like a student, he's very studious, he's practical, he's very grounded, he's maybe even a little bit nerdy, and he's learning. That's the most important thing about this card that I want to emphasize, is this page is learning. He's learning how to survive and thrive in the physical world. So he's learning, how to make money, how to manage his finances, how to take care of himself, how to take care of his health. He's learning how to be successful and how to really lay the foundation and get started in life. He's also very curious, he's optimistic, he's motivated and willing to learn. He's a little bit naive because he's very young, but he's well supported. So he usually comes from a supportive family, maybe a wealthy family, if not a wealthy family, just a very supportive family. And he's figuring things out, but he isn't exactly struggling. When we get to some of the other pages, like the next video in this series is going to be on the Page of Swords, and that page is definitely kind of struggling a little bit, but the Page of Pentacles, he's not really struggling, but he's figuring things out. He's learning, he's growing, he's figuring it all out. So some symbols to pay attention to on this card. The first most important symbol is the pentacle. So you'll notice that this page is, he's holding up this pentacle. And the pentacle is a monetary symbol. It's like a big giant gold coin. And he's holding it up in such a way that he's observing it, he's looking at it, and he's almost revering it. His stance is interesting. So if you look at his stance is almost like he can't decide which direction to go in. Like he's a little bit unsure of himself, and that really highlights the fact that he's young, he's figuring things out, he hasn't really come into his confidence yet, so he is a little bit unsure of himself. He's standing in this beautiful green field of flowers, and it's kind of this idyllic, sort of spring-like or summer-like kind of landscape, and it's a calm landscape, and I think that calmness kind of summarizes his personality and his character. He is very grounded and practical and calm, but it also kind of showcases that this Page of Pentacles is he's not really challenged in any deep way. His life is kind of easygoing for the most part. He's wearing a green smock, and this just makes me think of, the fact that he's green. He's young, he's naive, he's inexperienced, he's green. and he's wearing a fancy red hat. And again, this is kind of a symbol of wealth, kind of shows that he comes from sort of a wealthy, well-to-do background. Some special talents that this page has: he's a fast learner, he's willing and able to learn, he's actually like excited to learn, he has this fresh young mind, and he has like a really good memory, he has a really sharp memory. He lacks that jaded outlook that most people have after they've, you know, existed on this planet for a certain amount of time. He's not jaded, he's very optimistic, but he's also realistic. So he's optimistic and realistic. He has dreams, but all his dreams are fairly achievable. Like, this isn't the kind of character who fantasizes about being a movie star or a rock star or a billionaire. Like, all of his fantasies and his dreams are all like very much doable. He has a real thirst for knowledge. He has a mind like a sponge. Like, he just wants to learn. And he's very resourceful. So up until this point, I've kind of characterized him as coming from a wealthy family and being kind of well-to-do. But even if he isn't from a wealthy family and he doesn't have a lot of money, he's very resourceful. He knows how to work with the tools that he has and how to make the most of any kind of opportunities that are given to him. So if you were to go to a party and meet this Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles would be, he's kind of a wallflower, so he's like the person who is maybe on the other side of the room, sort of like, sort of camouflaging into the wallpaper. Like, you may not notice him right away. You might notice him like 2 hours into the party. You're like, oh yeah, who's that guy who's been standing over there for the last 2 hours? So he's a bit of a wallflower. He's very shy and overall kind of quiet. But if you start to talk to him, and if you happen to ask him about one of his hobbies or interests, now remember, he reads a lot of books, he loves comics and movies and things like that. So if you happen to ask him about one of his hobbies, he becomes this chatterbox. He just opens up, and you can't shut him up at that point. He's not exactly uncomfortable at a party, but he's also not exactly at ease either. He's not socially awkward really, but parties aren't his like natural environment. He rarely goes to parties because usually he's at home studying. When it comes to work and career, this is where the Page of Pentacles really shines. So he's very hardworking, he's eager to learn, he improves quickly. If you're a boss, you will love the Page of Pentacles. He's like a dream employee. If you're his coworker, you might have a different take. So you might actually find his keener, go-getter attitude really irritating and annoying. I remember working with this guy. His name was Colin, and I worked with him when I worked in a bank. And we were kind of close in age, and we got hired kind of around the same time. And Colin was a real go-getter. He was just eager to learn. He was eager to, you know, learn all these new skills, and he would never waste time. So if he didn't have anything to do, like I remember if I didn't have anything to do, I'd, you know, check my email or Google things, right? He wouldn't. He was a really hard worker. He would take that time to like learn new skills. And I just remember feeling so annoyed working with Colin because he was just so optimistic about work and so excited about being there and learning new things. And I just couldn't stand that. He just really irritated me. So think of the Page of Pentacles as being like the intern or the practicum student or the new hire. He asks everyone a lot of questions because he wants to learn everything about everything, and he's super curious and he just wants to be in the know. So he's going to ask a lot of questions. He also likes to be organized. This is the kind of guy who shows up to work 10 minutes early every day, or at least always right on time, and he has a plan. He knows what to expect. He's prepared. He's organized. And he's also really good at building things and working with his hands. And I haven't really mentioned this yet, but he's also, because he's, you know, the Page of Pentacles, and the Pentacles is like the most physical suit, he's good at like actually physically building things. All right. So when it comes to love and romance, this is where things get kind of funny, as they usually do. So when it comes to love and romance, the Page of Pentacles is honest, he's genuine, and he's always very affectionate towards his partner. But he completely lacks the ability to be romantic or to be like erotically exciting. So he has this like really straightforward way of communicating his feelings in a relationship. He sees no point in playing silly games. He doesn't understand that whole aspect of dating, which is good. This is all good stuff. This is a good thing. But he also doesn't really pick up on like subtle flirting or like subtle vibes. So if you find a Page of Pentacles that you're interested in romantically, flirting with this character, flirting with him, putting out vibes, he's not going to pick up on it. He's really dense when it comes to this kind of stuff. He prefers like very upfront, clear, direct communication. Now, he wants kind of a traditional type of relationship. And when I say traditional, I mean like he really wants like a very sturdy, solid, monogamous relationship where the two of you really like plan for the future, or, you know, focus on like really building a life together. He's not afraid of commitment, but he will most likely put his studies first and his career first. And once that's all in order, then he'll shift his focus to his relationship. He's really turned off by people who are a little bit lost, people who are kind of finding themselves and seeking. He wants to be with someone who knows who they are and has a plan. He prefers a stable relationship over an exciting one. And he's really just seeking a partner who like really matches his focus and his motivation. When it comes to money and finances, this page is just learning how to manage his money and how to build his wealth. He's not wealthy yet, but he will be eventually. He's very thrifty and he's sensible with his money, and he's really motivated by the stability that having extra money brings, as opposed to like the flashy side of wealth. So once he, you know, is financially comfortable, he's not really going to be splurging on flashy cars and flashy outfits and things like that. He doesn't care about that. He just loves the like stability aspect of having extra money. So the Page of Pentacles really thrives on learning. He's all about learning. He thrives on gaining new experiences in his chosen field of work or study. And he loves being able to pick the brains of experts or knowledgeable people. He loves reading nonfiction. He loves the library. He also loves museums. And he's the kind of guy who loves to read nonfiction books so he can learn all these like random facts about things and then like later regurgitate those facts in conversation because he thinks it impresses people and makes him interesting. It doesn't impress anyone, but he thinks that it does, and he loves doing it. And ultimately, he really thrives on creating a sense of stability for himself. Some things that he cannot stand, so these are some things that drive this page crazy. He can't stand insincerity or being deceived. He can't stand being around people who are unstable or flaky or flighty, who offer him false promises. I know everyone is bothered by that, but the Page of Pentacles particularly is annoyed by this. This is totally unforgivable to him. He doesn't like people who withhold information or who are kind of cagey or mysterious, or someone who like kind of brushes off his questions and kind of is dismissive towards him when he asks some questions. The one thing that really bothers him though is if he feels like he isn't making progress. He's all about building a foundation and then building on top of that foundation and making progress. And if he feels like he's not really doing that, that's really going to eat away at him. He also can't stand feeling unstable in any way. So financial instability, emotional instability, relationship instability, any kind of instability is going to really bother him and get under his skin. There's some people who thrive during times of instability. There's some people who just know how to go with the flow and make things work. The Page of Pentacles isn't one of those people. So the Page of Pentacles loves things to be somewhat predictable, and you know, he likes to be organized. He likes to have his ducks in a row. He likes to show up on time and know exactly what's expected of him. So any kind of instability kind of throws him off a little bit. So let's talk about his dark side. So the Page of Pentacles doesn't really have a dark side. So his negative qualities that I'm going to share with you, they're really just because he's so young and inexperienced and a little bit naive. So he's very naive to the fact that not everybody comes from, you know, not everyone has a good family support system like he does. And he has this belief that if you work hard, you'll succeed and be rewarded, because that's what's always been true for him. He doesn't realize that that isn't necessarily true for everyone. He doesn't understand why everyone just doesn't go to university like he does. And he kind of looks down on others who lack his peppy, optimistic, motivated attitude. And he can sort of like spout off these like simplistic explanations for complex problems like poverty, addiction, crime. He'll have these like really simple explanations as to why that's a problem. And again, you know, this is kind of his dark side, but it's really just down to the fact that he's young, he's inexperienced, he hasn't had a chance to be out in the world and figure things out yet. All right, so I'm going to give you some ways to embody this card. So some ways to embody the Page of Pentacles is to read a history book or some other kind of nonfiction book. Take a university course or any kind of course and like really study. Or learn about financial management and wealth building. These are all things that are, you know, within the realm of the Page of Pentacles. Some journaling questions I have for you. Do you know anyone like this page? Like, I know that guy that I used to work with who totally reminds me of that page. What aspects of this page do you relate to? And I want you to share this with me just below in the comment section below this video. Let me know like what part of this video, of this Page of Pentacles, do you most strongly relate to? I really relate to his like desire to be organized and have his ducks in a row and know what to expect and for things to run smoothly and be stable. I'm definitely like that. I can relate to that part. Which aspect of this page would you like to incorporate into your life more? So I would love to incorporate his like peppy, motivated attitude. That's something that I completely lack in life, and I would love to be one of those people. Or maybe I wouldn't, I don't know. What new things are you excited to learn? Because the Page of Pentacles loves to learn. So what are you excited to learn? What do you really want to learn more about? So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you feel like this Page of Pentacles is like your neighbor or your friend. I hope this card now will feel kind of cozy and familiar the next time it comes up in a reading. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, I have many other videos that are similar. I have videos on all the major arcana cards and some of the court cards. I will put the links to those playlists just below this video as well if you want to check them out. And you can check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I have all kinds of fun tarot learning resources on there for you to check out. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.